Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to this week's 3-2-1. That's 3 comments in the Parsha in 2 minutes with 1 insight. Comment 1 comes from the first verse. The Torah says all the time, and God spoke to Moses saying, sometimes it's God spoke to Moses and Aaron saying, sometimes it's God spoke to Moses, please share with the Israelites. But this time it says, and God spoke to Moses on the mountain, which is establishing the firm relationship between God and the people because of the covenant, because of the commandments that God will show up for us and we will show up for God. And the other comes from the end, which is a different kind of ownership. God says God owns the Jewish people because God took us and saved us from Egypt, and therefore we belong to God. The third comment comes from both of them together, which creates an uncomfortable place of what does it mean to be owned by someone? What does it mean to feel like ourselves are in service to another? And that leads to our insight, which is the challenge of being in service to God. We are Americans. We love our freedom. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. It is core to how we see ourselves in America. But Judaism, the Torah, our tradition is telling us something a little different. Yes, that's true. Autonomy is important. You should be able to do what you want and what you need. But there are limits on that. And those limits are so that we can serve God, or in other words, so that we can remember that our own desire for autonomy, for individualism, for desire can lead us down a bad road, can lead us down to a road in which we regret our own choices. But when we remember that God owns us both because God showed up for us. God showed us that love means showing up. And remember that God showed us another way that God loves us. God revealed God's self to us in the Torah, and God shared God's self with us, and that is its own specialness. So here we get a concept of what does it mean to be owned by God. It means that we are loved by God. It means that God shows us how to do and make choices that we feel are at the top of our own priority list, and that we do the things we are most proud of. So this Shabbat, I wish us to feel that ownership by God, that salvation that comes from being saved from oppression, from Egypt, from those dark places, but also that responsibility that comes with commandments, with Torah. Shabbat Shalom.